Hello everyone and welcome to Stampin' Chat Not Quite Live. That's right, today Tom and I can't be in the studio and we're not available for some live chat today, but we still wanted to bring a video to you with all of the fun that we usually have during our regular Stampin' Chat live videos. I'm Gina and it is great to see all of you joining us. We're really happy to have you here. Today we're going to have some fun because I'm going to be using the brand new balloon stencil. That's this one right here. Ooh, that's this one right here. It's called Bold Balloons. And then I'm also going to be using the Birthday Sparkle Incentive Stamp Set to make a card for you today. But before we get started, let's say hello to Tom. Hey, Tom.
Hey everybody out there.
How are you?
I am well, and it's a Thursday crafternoon, right?
It is. It's a Thursday crafternoon, not quite live.
And here we are, sort of.
We're kind of both in the dead space today.
Oh no, in the out there somewhere.
Definitely.
But we hope some of the fun that we're having here comes through today.
Absolutely. We'll be having fun today, right?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So today I'm going to be using this stencil and I'm going to show you how to mask off parts of it to create a card. I'm going to be cutting out the die that coordinates with the Birthday Sparkle, and that's this die right here. This, you can purchase a standalone die set that goes along with this incentive set if you want. And this is one of the dies. It's a 3-die set. Here's what the other two look like. It's a 3-die set. I'm going to be using this one here for my card today. And then I'm going to be using this stencil. So I'm going to pull it out of the package here. Now, this stencil is pretty cool because you can use it a couple different ways. These little parts right here are to create the shine on the balloons if you want to do that. And the way that you would use that is one of two ways. You could either take a gel pen and you could go inside that design, right? And just kind of color that all in. This way, if you're not great at, well, I smeared it, but if you're not great at creating that kind of thing, let's see if I can do another one. Maybe I should put my glasses on. So, you know, if you're not great at that, you could kind of outline that a little bit like that, and then a little bit more carefully pick it up, and you can see that would create that shine line, and then you could just fill it in with a white gel pen. Or you could take that same design and you could take a sponge dauber. I don't know if I have a white one handy. Maybe I do. Here's one. Let me get some white ink. So you could take this sponge dauber and a little bit of Gina K Designs white pigment ink, and you could press that pigment ink in there to create a very kind of sketchy, soft, white shine mark that would be very similar to the way the balloons would look when you are stenciling them. Now, I'm not going to do the shine today because I don't think I need it for the style of card that I want to make, because I want to make a very transparent look in my balloons today. But I do like that white gel pen, and I do think that that's pretty cool. Maybe I'll do one. Why don't I just do one on a plain white piece of cardstock to show you what that would look like if you did it that way. So here's just a plain piece of white cardstock. And we can do, let's do this big balloon here. Now, I like using Post-it notes on these balloons. This way you can really isolate whichever balloon you want to use. And then we'll add a little shine mark just to show you the way it looks. So I've just grabbed a purple blending brush here. It's got some purple ink on it. And I'm going to just use that. And see, I'm kind of going around in a circular motion, leaving a little bit of white space in the center there. Okay, so let's pull that off, and you can see what that looks like. Then, if you wanted to add that shine line, You could pick a spot on it. Using the white gel pen, you could go in there. Ooh, let me get that started. There we go. And fill that in. You see how that kind of creates that shine up there? Isn't that kind of cool? I love that. You like that, Tom?
That is very cool.
Yeah. So that's kind of what you could use those for if you wanted. But today I'm going to be using some Turquoise Sea, some Jelly Bean Green, and a little bit of Wild Dandelion to make my card. I'm going to use a little alcohol just to clean this stencil. You can use just water if you want, or you can use stamp cleaner, whatever you want, but I'm just going to get rid of all that. The thing that's cool about using alcohol is it dries right away, so it doesn't leave your stencil wet, especially if you're moving it all around the paper and you don't want to wait for anything to dry in between. Okay, so I have cut a piece of cardstock that measures 3.5 inches by 4 3/4 of an inch. And I did this with master layouts too, and that's how I got the cute little stitches around the edge. But you can just cut your cardstock if this is not something that you know, you don't have that master layouts die set, but you want your card to be about the same size as mine. Now I have a piece of Masking Magic sheets. This is a piece that I cut off of something else, and I am going to cut this die out on this from this Masking Magic sheet. So let me get my intricate die cutting machine here, and we're going to cut that out. Now this is going to create a mask that I'm going to be able to stamp in later. Okay, so I mean it might even fit like this, so then I could use that for another one. Let's see how we do. Okay, it's pretty thin paper, so I might have to tighten up the machine if it didn't cut all the way, but let's see. Oh, yep, it sure did. Okay. So there is the mask that I'm going to use, and I'm going to be placing this onto my cardstock, so this way I can stamp right into that white space when I'm ready. All right? Okay. Now, let me get this out of the way. So now I'm going to just take a little bit of tape runner and just tape the back of this card, and I'm going to pop that down onto my scrap paper here. Now I'm going to place this where I want it on my card, but before I do that, I want to outline because I want to create a border. So I'm using the Masking Magic sheets for this, but I'm going to be using Masking Magic strips. These are the Masking Magic strips in the 1/4 inch size. They come in 3 different sizes in the pack, 1/8 of an inch, 1/4 of an inch, and 1/2 of an inch. I'm going to use the 1/4 inch ones. And if you've never used Masking Magic before, it is a super, it's a masking paper, so the ink won't bleed through it. However, it's real low tack on the back, so it doesn't tear your paper when you pull it up. So I'm going to create a border just by placing these Masking Magic strips right around the outside perimeter of this card. All right. I'm going to go all around to create my 4 areas, and this way I can stencil all over, and when I pull these off, it's going to have a nice white border. And what's nice about these strips is you can reuse them a couple of times, but if you do reuse them, just make sure you use the same colors, because this tape, I'm not going to say it's waterproof, but it's not very porous, so the ink will stay on the top of it. And if you let's say you have like purple around the outside, and then your next card you want to make in yellow, it might activate some of that purple, and then you'll actually be stenciling brown. Okay, now I think I'm going to put my greeting down here near the bottom, although it would be fun to put it right in the center, wouldn't it? Ooh, maybe I'll do that. And this is going to fit right, it's going to be perfect. It's going to fit right in there. So let's peel this Masking Magic. Now, if you didn't cut it in the spot where the split is on the back, then what I do is, looking at the back side, I just like fold a little corner over like that, and then I just use my nail to kind of scrape it apart. I know some people use like a pick and stick tool or something like that, but it's only got one opening in the center. So if you've already used that part, you might have to just not really struggle, but work it a little bit to get it apart. Okay, so now I'm going to put this right here. It's going to go right from one end. And I have to kind of see if this is going to look straight. So once I get this just lightly pressed down, I'm going to look at this to make sure that it's going to be straight. And it's not. So you see how I'm going to have to tilt it a little bit that way? Okay, now I could stamp right onto my paper without any problem at all. But I just feel like I want to try this. So I thought we could try it together. I'm going to just do it a tiny bit more. There we go. So I can take this stamp off of here and just see how that lines up. So that lines up pretty well, and I think that's going to look nice and straight. So it looks good to me now that I've checked it, and now I'm going to press this down so that it doesn't move. Okay. All right. Now I'm going to get my stencil here, and I'm going to put my first balloon kind of like right in the center. Now, if you want, you can tape this all down to make it, I'm going to use new because that has blue on it or purple on it. I'm going to just use the biggest balloon here in the center, and if you want, you can tape your stencil down if you want to, but I don't think it's really necessary. I'm just going to hold it. But again, if you feel more comfortable, it's not a race, so you certainly can do that. All right, so I'm going to put it right there like that. And then my first color I'm going to use is my Turquoise Sea. So I will get some Turquoise Sea out. Here's my Turquoise Sea ink. And then I'm going to get a turquoise blending brush. I am going to check it because I think I might have used some Tranquil Teal on here, and I just don't want it to be too dark. So I'm just going to rub off a little bit of that color, and it's ready to go. All right, so a little Turquoise Sea here. I'm going to hold that down, and just kind of using a circular motion, I'm going to go around the balloon. Now I am going to get the whole thing because I do want that color to be along the edge of that greeting, but then I'm going to go a little heavier around the outside. And you can even go heavier just on one side if you want, or you can go heavier around the entire perimeter just along the outside to define that shape of that balloon. Okay, so there is my first balloon. There we go. Okay, so now I think I'm going to do another one in turquoise. I think I'll put this one kind of up here, going off the paper. See how I'm going off the paper? But when you're doing that, you do want to make sure that you protect down here so that you don't accidentally ink blend onto your cardstock. Okay, so I'm going to do that same thing, kind of going in a circular motion. There we go. All right, so there's my second balloon. Now I'm going to take these Post-it notes off and I'm going to switch colors. I want to get some green balloons in here. And these balloons are a couple of different sizes on this sheet, on this stencil. So, you know, you can pick if you want all big balloons, you can certainly do that. If you want to mix up the different sizes, you can certainly do that. I'm going to be mixing them up to create different sizes. And again, this isn't like they're drastically different where there's real small ones. So if, you know, if it makes you nervous or you just want to use all one size, you certainly can do that. I don't know what that is. Okay. So now I'm going to add some green ones. So I think I'll put a green one down here a little bit. I want to overlap it a little bit on that one. And it's okay if you want to use the same Post-it notes for the greens and the blues, because they won't have any problem mixing. But when we get to yellow, I am going to change up the color. I'm going to change up the Post-it note. Okay, so now I'm going to use some Jelly Bean Green. And again, I'm just holding the stencil down, but you could tape it down if you want. And I'm going to ink that up. And you can see where the two balloons overlap. There is, you get an extra color in there. See that? So you get a little extra color right there. And then I think I'll do another green one down here. Let's see. I'll do one down here. And then I want to block this off. And I also want to block that off because I don't want the little shine mark to peek through. Okay.
So Gina,
Yes.
several viewers have asked where you get your ideas from and, you know, stamping ideas. And how often does it happen where you're out and about and you see something and think, that would make a good card or that would make a good stamp?
Oh, that happens a lot. Not only that, but you know, when I'm like even looking at clothes in the stores, sometimes I'll see like a top or something in a really cool color, and I'll like a color combination, and I'll be like, oh, I got to make a card in that color combination. So inspiration is everywhere. Happens a lot. Okay, so I'm putting another green one over here, and then I'm going to start with the yellow. So you can see, once again, going around in a circular motion. Okay, let's see how that looks. All right. So now I want to add some yellow ones. So I am going to do some new Post-it notes. And I am using the alcohol to clean the stencil just so it dries really quickly. But if you have like sensitivities and stuff, then don't use alcohol. Just use water. It's totally fine. Just take a paper towel and make sure that you really get it nice and dry in between. So I'm going to be using Wild Dandelion here. And again, I'm going to check my brush. That looks pretty good. Okay, so now I'm going to do, I think, another big one right here. And then I will use some brand new Post-it notes just to make sure that I don't mix the yellow with anything else. And I think this will be fine because nothing else can get affected by this. All right. Now, yellow is so light and soft that if you find that your yellow isn't as deep as you want it to be, you can always add just a little hint of honey mustard in there. So I'll just lightly just add a little bit to my brush and then just kind of go around the outside just to deepen it up a little bit. Okay. So there's one yellow balloon. Isn't this cool how they all look like they're just fading on top of each other? Okay, let's put this one right here.
You're blending over backwards.
I am. Yes, I am. Which reminds me, Tom,
Yes.
do you have a word of the day?
You ready for a word of the day?
I think so. Since this isn't a live video today, it's a not quite live video, it is going to be a little bit shorter, so I think we should get right into that word of the day.
Okay, so today's word of the day is has to do with the ride to work.
Oh.
So I like to take almost every day. I take a different way into work. Sometimes on a different, like on the bike, or driving in. But I can't take the same route every day. Gina, on the other hand, every day drives the same route to and from. It's just, it's like a comfort thing for you,
It is.
And if she's in the car with me and I'm driving and I go a different way, it's totally upsetting. It's like,
I'm like, where are you going?
so the word of the day has to do with that, and going the same route for me would be far too much scenery. Seen it, been there, done that, scenery.
That's pretty funny.
Every ride, the same tree. Back to the dead space.
Yeah, creature of habit, I am. I don't mind the scenery. I like that I've seen it before. I know where I am. All right, I'm going to put a green one over here. That's funny. Okay. And then let's see. Okay, so now we've got all these balloons kind of haphazard all over the place. I'm going to add a border around the outside of Turquoise Sea. Now, I'm not going to go heavy, but I want to fill in any white spaces that haven't been filled in, because if I don't do that, you're not going to get the impact of that white border going around the outside. All right, so we're going to add some turquoise there, and up in here, right in there, a little bit there, over here, and then over in here. I think that'll do it. Okay. So now we get to peel and reveal the border. And I think it looks like such a mess until you peel all of this off, and then it looks so nice and crisp. All right. And then we're going to peel off. Where is my pick and stick tool? Here it is. We're going to peel off. Let's wiggle this off. We're going to peel off this. Let's see if I can get this off without too much trouble. I might be able to just get my nail under there. I did really, I think I'm going to use my nail. Okay, there we go. So now we're going to pull this off. Okay, and that is where my greeting is going to go. So we could have stamped right on it, but I think it'll have a little more of an impact with that little bit of white space around it. So I'm going to give it my best shot here. Let's see. Now, let me me find the stamp. So now I'm going to lay the stamp in there the best that I can. And then I'm going to stamp it, but I am actually going to test it first. So once I have it stamped, once I have it on my MISTI, then I'm going to lay this right here. I want to clean this first. Let me get my alcohol, because I tested it earlier on another card. Well, I had made a card for release party night. I don't know if you guys remember seeing that card, but I made a card for release party night, which I'll show you when I'm done here, just so that you can see the other version of this card that I made. I did share it at the release party, but okay. So now I'm going to ink this up with some black Onyx, and then I'm going to stamp it. You know what? I am going to tape this down so it doesn't move. I wonder if that's too high or did I move it? I think it's a little high.
Try it again.
Yep. See, that's the beauty of using this method to make sure that it's right before you stamp it. Okay, so we'll clean that off. Let me get my tidy towel. I don't want to use a paper towel on my stamp or I'll have lint all over the place.
So if you were making this, a couple of these cards, what's the next color combination you would do?
Well, I'll show you because I really love the one I made for the release party. Oh, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to be really fancy here. I'm going to pull these off. I'm going to pull the stamps off of this index sheet, and I'm going to see if I can be really tricky here. I have an idea. Let's see if it works. Since it's a tiny mini stamp set, it doesn't really matter. So I'm going to lay this here, like this. And then I'm going to see if I can line this up on it. Oh, yeah. Wish me the best here. Oh, I think, okay, first of all, I love this idea, but I'm going to have to move it in a different place here. I'm going to have to put it, you know what I need? I need my MISTI corner. Do I have a MISTI corner? I don't even know where my MISTI corner ever got to. But that is a great tool if you don't lose it.
You want me to find a MISTI corner?
No, I don't think we have a MISTI corner. I mean, I might have one here somewhere on my space, but to find it, forget it. I mean, I'd have to really manifest it, you know? So I think what I'll do here is I'll just put a little tape on the back of this, and I will tape this right onto my MISTI here. And then I'm going to lay this on top like that. Oh, look how nice that looks, right? Then I can fiddle with it a little bit and make sure that it's perfect. I like that. Okay, so here I go. I'm going to be fiddly. See, it helps if you're not trying to do this one-handed. It's very easy to line up then. So I think that's pretty good. Now I'm going to pick it up. All right. And now we'll test it with that other sheet. It's kind of a fun little trick there. Oh no! Oh, can you believe it? I had this underneath. So now I gotta do it again. I had this underneath my stamp. Like a ding-dong. But hopefully you're laughing. Because I'm laughing a little bit at myself. Okay, so with two hands, it's easier to line up. You kind of see like it just disappears. The outline just disappears when you have it lined up right. Okay, now we'll go with this clear sheet on top and we'll just take a look and see if it looks pretty good. All right, back to the black onyx. I feel like I almost don't need to test it after doing that, but just to be safe. Yeah, see? That's going to be spot on. Okay, so try that little trick. Just take the stamps off of your stamp sheet and use that as your guide. Okay, now this I'm going to stamp probably more than once. We'll give it a little pressure here. Perfect, right in the center. And I feel like, now some of you might say, well, why didn't you just stamp it right on top? There's a couple reasons. The first reason is I just like the white space in there. I feel like it just really makes your eye focus on it. And the other reason is because when I do a ton of ink blending over a piece of cardstock and then I stamp black ink right on top, sometimes it bleeds a little bit. And I'll show you what I mean. Here's the original card that I made, Tom, and this is the other color combination I love. Pink, orange, and yellow. It looks like candy, cotton candy to me. But do you see how the words kind of bled a little bit because this was so saturated from all that ink? Now you could let it dry for a little while, but look how much more crisp this looks just by having that little mask in there. And having the white space in there, it just feels like the greeting pops out more on this one than this one. I'd love an opportunity to make this color combination again and have it masked off that way.
Yeah, it's a lot like music. It's nice to have some space.
Yeah, the space, the white space is really nice. Okay, and you can see I had a little boo-boo there. Forgot to put a Post-it note there, so you know, there's a learning curve, and this is a brand new stencil in our collection, so I'm learning too. But it's kind of nice to be able to, you know, to just practice it and not worry about it too much. Because what's the slogan around here, Tom?
Better than horrible.
That's right. That's all it has to be is better than horrible. All right, so I'm going to cut a piece of black cardstock. I thought I had one cut, but I had one cut out of the wrong size. So I'm going to cut a piece of black cardstock, and I'm going to make that 3 5/8 of an inch by 4 7/8 of an inch. And then I'm going to adhere this onto that black piece of cardstock. Now, I love this color combination a lot, but I think that it would be good to use some kind of aqua color card base on this one. So I'm going to use sea glass. I think sea glass is going to be the right color here. I'm just going to put this off to the side and cut it real fast over here. I think sea glass is going to be the right color because I really focused more on the yellows and the greens. And I think this little bit of turquoise in here, this sea glass, will bring out some of that turquoise sea. You could use turquoise sea too, but sometimes I like to use a complementary color as the card base. So let's see how that looks. See how I feel like that brings out that little bit of aqua in there. Okay. I'll put this onto that card base. And then I think what I'm going to do is, instead of adding the gold pearls like I did on this one, I actually added colored pearls on here. Maybe I'll add a few different colors in the blues. Let's see what we have here. I like to, ooh, that's pretty. And the greens and the yellows. Ooh, we've got a lot of the same colors here. So let's see what we have. I actually mixed my some of my white pearls in here too. So this is a mess, I'll tell you. It's a mess. So I'm just gonna pull those out. Put that there. And then, let's see. So, some yellow maybe? Here's kind of a yellowy, that's not quite yellow. Here's a yellow. Put a yellow up there. And maybe another blue over here. Kind of just outline around here. So, we could do these two here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I actually think that if we had a yellow one up here that was bigger, and then a smaller blue one, that would probably look better. Yeah, I like that look. All right, we'll do 5 on this one. I think I had 7 on the other one. We could add a couple more. Let's see. Ooh, do you hear that rain coming down? It is raining here in Wisconsin today. Probably not on Thursday, though. Even though today is sort of Thursday in the dead space, right? I want one more tiny yellow. Right there. Yeah, I like that. Okay. I'm going to mix them up a little more, though. Put this. Oh, I don't have enough greens. Let me find one more little green. Here's a green. Let's put a green. Do you like that green one? I like it. Oops. Oh, they're like turtles, though, when they get on their back. It's virtually impossible to flip them over. Let me see if this one's a little bit more pearlescent. Okay, we'll use these. Let me grab some Connect glue, and then I'm going to try to do the left-handed pick and stick tool. Now, I make no promises here. This is not easy. It's not bad, though. It's going okay. That didn't go okay.
You really do take your time with the embellishments, though. It's like a golfer who doesn't, who makes use of every shot.
Yes. I'm going to use this one. It's a little smaller. I do. I like to take my time. I don't think that crafting is a race, ever. So, you know, I like to plan it out a little bit and look at it. And if I don't like something, I don't just do it. I think this is the better thing, using the right hand to control the pick and stick tool. All right, and so there's my finished card. And I will show you the other one here because the other one is super cute. I just feel like I would like a second shot at that greeting. But again, that was my practice card, so it's not too bad for my practice card. It's better than horrible. And the colors I used on this one are Bubblegum Pink, Sweet Mango. I used yellow and then a little bit of that honey mustard around the outside. Same here, that little bit of honey mustard just to brighten up the yellow. It's not that the yellow isn't bright enough, it's that it's such a light color that if you want that edge to be a little bit deeper, that's a nice combination to use. All right. Well, this was so much fun today. I'm so glad that you guys stopped by to watch this video. Tom and I will be back next Tuesday night for another Stampin' Chat live. That one's going to be live, not quite live. Right, Tom?
That's right.
And then we'll be back with another kit project for you, so I hope you will join us then. In the meantime, stay safe and healthy. We love you all so very much, and we'll see you again real soon. Bye-bye.